Which method of settling a default involves a conveyance of title to the lender? Which settlement or which method of settlement in a default? Remember, the debt service is not being paid monthly. The borrower is not paying their debt service. So there is a method for settling a default that involves the conveyance of the title to the lender. What is that called? Okay, got a few answers so far. Got two answers. So we're talking about a method of settling a default. Okay, settling a default. All right, good. All right, so here's what we're going to look at. Remember, the borrower is called the mortgagor, paying. The mortgagee is receiving. That's the lender. Okay, so the mortgagor falls into not paying their debt service or their principal interest every month, right? Amortized mortgage or a loan. And so one of the things to avoid foreclosure, remember, Florida is a lien theory state, and we're going to talk about lien theory here shortly. Is a lien theory state. So the actual borrower owns the home legally. It's legal title, right? The bank puts a lien called a mortgage. Now, there's several ways the bank can get the property in a foreclosure process, okay? One of them being a foreclosure. The other one is the method where the borrower or the mortgagor actually conveys legal title or deed voluntarily back to the lender to avoid going to court, okay, on a foreclosure. And that's called deed in lieu of, right? It's right there in the definition is right there in the title. I'm going to give you the deed in lieu of you foreclosing on me. Okay, so let's look at this in detail. Remember, Florida is considered a lien theory state. And so that impacts the mortgage process for residential home buyers. Okay. Now, the buyer has legal title to the home purchased. The lender files a mortgage. This is called a voluntary specific lien. You remember that in your studies. Voluntary means you agree. Specific means to that legal description address. And it's a lien because you, the homeowner, have legal title. The term hypothecation says that you're allowing the lender to file a lien to secure their debt. That's what a lien is, to secure the debt. You're allowing that to happen without giving up possession of your home or without giving up legal title. That's called hypothecation, right? So voluntary specific lien to secure the debt, and that's recorded in land records. It's called constructive notice, okay? Now, the consequence of default, again, if you look under B, looking at Florida, the judicial process is under a lien theory state. So what happens is the mortgagee has to file a lawsuit to get the property back, put in their name. Remember, the word season, the grantor is the only one authorized. Well, in lien theory, if the borrower owns the home and defaults on it, the lender can't do anything because they don't have possession. They don't have legal title to the home. So that's where the foreclosure comes in through the courts. And they get a lawsuit, get the property back, and then they go to auction and be able to transfer it. Instead of going through court costs and going through that foreclosure process, the mortgagor or the owner of the property says, listen, I want to avoid all that. I don't want to have to be responsible for court costs and the whole process. Here, Mr. Lender, I'm giving you the deed back. I'm transferring the title back into your name so you can now sell the property, okay? And so that's what we're looking at under B4, deed in lieu of foreclosure, okay? Now, the mortgage default, again, that goes through a lawsuit and a foreclosure process. Under B2, you may see this term called equity of redemption. This is after foreclosure proceedings have already started. The lender has already kicked off foreclosure proceedings. They have already went to the courts for suit to get the property back. And this is before auction. Okay, so they got the property. Now they're going to auction it off in between foreclosure after it's been filed and approved. And before auction, the owner can have an equity of redemption. In other words, they can make good on the loan, pay all back interest, fees, everything, and restore their position, and they'll take it off the auction sale. Okay, it's called equity of redemption. Short sale is nothing more than the actual net selling of the price is going to fall and be deficient of what the value of the home is, or actually not only the value, but what it's going to fall short of what the actual balance of the loan will be. Okay, that's called the short sale. That's got to be approved. But we're looking at deed in lieu of foreclosure. That is the method that transfers the deed.